Hello students, a very good morning to all of you. Today we will study about inter-process communications. Inter-process communications क्या है? So as the name inter-process communication suggests that the way processes can be communicate with each other. As you know, in operating system and in the multi-programming environment, a number of processes can be run at the same time. Okay, so the process can be or a process can processed parallelly. So a process can be of two types, that is independent process and cooperating processes. So how they can communicate with each other? One is your shared memory and another one is your message passing. Where in shared memory all the processes can share a single memory, and here in message passing there is a sender and receivers are there, and there is certain informations between them, or they passing some messages by using the source ID, destination ID, information and control informations. Okay, so that you will study in your inter-process communication. And you also learn here that direct message passing, indirect message passing. So come to inter-process communication. So there are numerous regions for providing an environment or situation which allows process cooperation. So first one is your information sharing. Here, since some users may be interested in the same piece of information, for example, it may be a shared file, you must provide a situation for allowing concurrent access to that information. Next, your computational speed. In computation speed up, if you want a particular work to run fast, you must break it into some subtasks, where each of them will get executed in parallel fashion and with the other tasks. You have to note here that here in such cases a speed up can be attained only when the computer has compound or various processing elements like your central processing units or input-output channels. Next come to modularity. In modularity, what happens? You may want to build a system in a modular way by dividing the system functions into split processes or threads. So threads are here the lightweight process. Then conveniency. So even a single user may work on many tasks at a time. For example, a user may be editing, or he or she may be formatting or printing or compiling in parallel. Now come to what are the type of process or how many type of processes are there. So basically a process can be of two types. The first one is your independent process. The second one is your dependent process. So what is independent process and what is cooperating process? As the name suggests, in independent process, they cannot affect or be affected by the other processes executing in the system. In cooperating processes, they can affect or be affected by the other processes executing in the system. Okay, so these processes can communicate with each other through both shared memory and your message passing. So here is the figure which shows a basic structure of communications between the processes via the shared memory method and via the message passing method. So as the name suggests, shared memory means this memory is shared by number of processes. And here in the shared memory is a memory shared between two or more processes that are established using a shared memory between all the processes. So these type of memory requires to protect it from each other by synchronizing access across all the processes. Next come to your message passing. So this is a mechanism for a process to communicate and synchronize. Using message passing, the process communicates with each other without resorting to shared variable. So after this chapter we will study about the process synchronizations. Okay. So here what happens? How do you share a message? So the first thing you have to do, establish a communication link. If a link already exists, there is no need to establish it again. Next, start exchanging messages using basic primitives. So the best example for it is your producer-consumer problem. So what happens in the producer-consumer problem means there are two processes like your producer and consumer, suppose. So the producer produces some items and the consumer consumes that item. So these two processes share a common space or memory location that is known as your buffer. Okay. So when the item produced by the producer is stored and from which the consumer consumes the item if needed. So there are two versions of this problem. The first one is known as unbounded buffer. Unbounded buffer. And next one is your bounded buffer. Okay. So here what happens that in the first one that is known as unbounded buffer problem, in which the producer can keep on producing items and there is no limit on the size of the buffer. And in the second one, what happens in the bounded buffer problem, in which the producer can produce up to certain number of items before it starts waiting for consumer to consume it. So it has a topic that how this producer consumer will share some common memory, then the producer will start producing items, or if the total produced item is equal to the size of the buffer, then the producer will wait to get it consumed by the consumer. Similarly, the consumer will first check for the availability of the item, and if no item is available, then the consumer will wait for the producer to produce it. And if there are items available, consumer will consume them. So for that reason, there are some pseudocode are there to write this bounded or producer consumer problem. Okay. So next come to your inter-process communication mechanism. So this inter-process communication mechanism provides two operations. First one, your send messages and receive messages. So here you see sending process and message passing module, your receiving process and message passing module, and each message there is a process ID and the message is there. So the message size can be fixed or a variable size हो सकता है. So if it is of fixed size, then it is easy for an operating designer but complicated for a programmer. And if it is a variable size, then it is easy for a programmer but complicated for the operating system designer. So there are standard message that can have two parts. A standard message can have two parts. First one is your header part and the second one is your body part. So here this header part is used for storing message type, destination ID, source ID, message length kitna hai, and some control information will be there. So the control information contains the information like what to do if runs out of buffer space, sequence number and priority. So this generally message is sent using the FIFO style, means first in first out fashion. So this message passing can be done through some communications link. So there is direct and indirect communications links are there. So there are some questions that need to be kept in mind, like how are links established? Can a link be associated with more than two processes? How many links can be there between every pair of communicating processes? And what is the capacity of the link? Is the size of मैसेज दैट द लिंक कैन अकोमोडेट फिक्स्ड है या फिर वेरिएबल है? इज अ लिंक यूनिडायरेक्शनल और बाइडायरेक्शनल, मीन्स वन साइडेड है या फिर टू वे कम्युनिकेशंस कैन बी पॉसिबल हियर. So implementations of the link depend on the situation. It can be either a direct communications or an indirect communications link. So what happens in direct communications? In this type of direct communications, what happens? There should be name each other explicitly. So in this type of inter-process communication process, there should be name each other explicitly. So in this method, a link is established between one pair of communicating processes, and between each pair only one link is exists. For example, like your printer server. In direct communications, here in indirect communication establishes like only when processes share a common mailbox, each pair of processes sharing several communications link can be possible here. So a link can communicate with many processes and the link may be bidirectional हो सकता है या फिर unidirectional हो सकता है. Okay. So this is about your inter-process communications. In the next chapter we will study about process synchronizations. How, in this multi-programming environment in the operating system, a number of processes can run and they sometimes share memory, and that is cooperative processes are there and independent processes are there. So how they can communicate with each other and how we can sync this process work, how these processes can be synchronized, that we will see in the process synchronization.